What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Strange Adventures, issue number 12. And I'm actually really excited to get into this line, because if you go back into my playlist, you'll see that this is one of the first issues, one of the first series that I started to cover when I began this channel. That's how long it's taken to get all 12 issues of this truly amazing run by Tom King. Now, I will admit the quality of my older videos is probably pretty bad. I more than likely am going to go back and really re-edit some of these, do some more voiceovers, and make it a better quality for you guys. Because this story truly deserves all the attention. And I will say this is arguably one of the best Adam Strange stories ever to be written. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this final issue, we are picking up with Mr. Terrific and Elena, with so much transpiring, with Adam Strange admitting he is giving up the entirety of Earth to save Ron, and he had to give his daughter up as collateral, lying to his wife this entire time, saying that she had died. And this was all discovered by Mr. Terrific. And Tom King has done such an amazing job of writing Mr. Terrific. It truly is a work of art. He gets this character in a way that many other writers have never been able to write him. But this story is picking us up on a Pike ship, with Elena and Mr. Terrific going to try to get her daughter back. After learning this information, she wanted a parlay, an opportunity to talk to their leader and try to get the release of her daughter. And as they sit down and have discussions, the Pike leader is letting them know that it's going to take some time to get her daughter here, that there's some diplomatic issues, there's some paperwork issues. It's really just a stall, an opportunity to keep them in this room. And we see that she is not going for it. She's not having it one bit. After a little bit of conversation, she immediately pulls out her pistol. She gives these guys to the count of 3. And with her daughter not appearing, we see her start gunning them down. And this is when all hell breaks loose inside of this control room. With Mr. Terrific's T-spheres coming online, we see these two start cracking some Pike's skull. And that's what takes us to a flashback back on Ron, back with Adam Strange and his wife. And it's picking up a time frame after she believed that her daughter had died. And so these two are going through and they are killing, destroying, dismembering anybody that gets in their way, to include this giant sand monster that they vaporize. They turn this thing straight to glass. It's just demonstrating how much on par with Adam Strange she truly is. That she may be a princess, but she knows how to fight. Now that's what takes us back to present day, picking up on the Pike ship. Elena is finally meeting up with her daughter. After taking out all of these Pikes on the ships, or at least the ones in their way, they found her. And it truly is a touching moment. Elena has not seen her daughter in so much time, believing her to be dead this entire time. And she feels a great amount of guilt, because if she had known, nothing would have stopped her from finding her daughter, to bringing them together again and reuniting them. And with Mr. Terrific being in the room, him getting his introduction, she gives him a great big hug as well. But though this is a great and amazing reunion, the little one has to ask, where is father? Where is Adam Strange? Now that's what takes us back to Ron. At this point, their daughter is missing. Adam Strange and Elena, they are going through all of Ron, doing all they can to keep this place protected. But as they fly through this night, Adam Strange, he proposes the idea that they leave this planet. That they leave this planet and they go to Earth. Now, of course, Elena, she's hesitant to this idea, because she is a princess. They need somebody to lead them. Not only that, Adam Strange is the great war hero of Ron. And so the idea of them two leaving and going to Earth, a place that she's not really fond of to begin with, it's extremely difficult for her to come to the conclusion that it is a good idea to leave. And we see the two of them embrace, kissing beneath the Ron stars. And he lets her know that while this world may need her, Adam Strange needs her just as much. And it is love that pulls her away. It is love that brings her to Earth. No longer having a daughter, dealing with this trauma, dealing with this grief. These two, they cling together. They cling to one another. And this is what eventually convinces her to make her way to Earth, to live there with Adam Strange. Now, picking up in present day, Mr. Terrific and Elena are taking the little one back home, taking her back to Earth. But our princess, she has other agendas. She is gonna go back to Ron, needing a leader, needing their princess back. She believes it is her responsibility, her obligation to go back and lead her people. But there is a catch to this. She is going to be leaving her daughter behind. And that's because Ron is simply much too dangerous for a child to grow up. But Earth, it is protected by some of the greatest heroes the universe has ever seen. And so if there is a place for her to grow up, this will be that place. And though the princess was gonna go back and forth, be a woman of two worlds if you will, this is something she feels she absolutely has to do. But the curveball to all of this is that she wants Mr. Terrific to be the one to raise her daughter, being the one that found her in the first place, believing that there is nobody better out there to be able to protect her daughter. Now, of course, Mr. Terrific at first, he's completely thrown off by this, obviously saying this is something he can't do, something that he won't do, that it's not fair. And she uses some great reverse psychology on him. Some reverse psychology that is so convincing that it makes him stutter. But at the end of the day, Elena knows that Mr. Terrific needs her just as much as she needs him. With his family being gone, with having nothing to cling to, nothing to hold on to. If there were ever two people that needed each other more, it was these ones. And the truth of the matter is, she is eaten up inside. She feels so much guilt for standing by Adam Strange's side that entire time, for believing every single lie, for her daughter being locked up that entire time and being completely oblivious to the absolute truth. But one of the hardest things for her to cope with is what happened to Adam Strange, and holding this entire burden on her shoulders. Mr. Terrific, she believes, is perfect, that his story is a tragic beauty, an individual that keeps driving on even after he's had everything taken away from him. And we have a subtle pause. Elena asking Mr. Terrific, "Do you know how my husband died?" And of course, Mr. Terrific, of all people, is going to know exactly what happened, because Adam Strange killed himself. With the truth being unveiled, with his wonderful wife knowing the truth, knowing that he gave up all of Earth, every single human being, that he gave his daughter up as collateral. Not being able to live with this guilt, he pulled out his blaster, and right in front of the princess, he ended his life. And as she holds on to that one last great memory she has of Adam Strange, the memory of right before they left Ron and headed back to Earth, when she had endured so much grief, so much trauma, and in that moment she felt like things might be different, that things might just be okay, not knowing the journey ahead of them was gonna be filled with secrets, with lies, and much more grief than she would ever have to bear. And that's what picks us up a little bit later, picking up with Mr. Terrific and our young princess-to-be being left behind in the care of Mr. Terrific himself, though at first she is very distant. As he sits here and he quizzes himself, she begins to ask questions. And so Mr. Terrific takes this as an opportunity to start teaching her everything he knows. And as this story closes out, it brings us back to the very beginning. Coming full circle, we have Adam Strange on Earth shaking hands as he signs autographs for the book that he had written. And that will be the end of this series. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like I've said before, this is absolutely phenomenal writing. This entire story, you couldn't keep track of what was going on. The entire time you think Elena is the one behind all of this. Mr. Terrific seems to be coming down on her with a quickness. But we learned that all of this was Adam Strange. The entire time, he was the one behind everything going on. Now, Adam Strange, he truly did believe that he was going to be able to get away with all of this, even going to Batman and saying, "Prove my innocence." Now, obviously, he ended up passing the job off to Mr. Terrific because he felt like he was too close to the situation. But man, what a tragic ending to this story. Adam Strange killing himself, unable to deal with the guilt, unable to carry the burden of everything that he put the people he loves and cares about through. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.